Welcome to the Vevor corner of my shop. This is everything I had to do to get the 3-ton Arbor press, in my mind, operational. First off, when I got this, really nothing was adjusted. They clearly just put this together, slap it in a box, and send it off. There's no quality control. Don't kid yourself. No one's checking this thing after it's put together. First thing I noticed is this guy right here was super loose, so I tightened it down. And then it didn't move at all. I went and got another screw, not included, and I was able to put these two screws so they hit each other and jam them together. That allowed me to adjust this so there's just a little bit of play in it, and now that's satisfactory. But you did need another screw to jam against the original to get it to seat like that. The next thing I noticed, over on this side there is a washer between the hand wheel and the body, and if you can see, there's a shiny bit on the edge. That's all the bearing surface on the washer that was touching the frame. Just that tiny bit. If I had to estimate that, you're less than 1/16 of an inch. And that's nice and sharp now. Also, I think it was dropped in transit because this thing is kind of pushed in the middle. So chuck that and get a bigger washer. The other thing I noticed is that right here, there is a machine screw that holds the wheel on. Only about less than 1/4 inch, maybe 3/16 is all that was holding it. I swapped that out for one that was 1/4 inch longer. Now that's on there a little bit better. Also, this handle did not screw in correctly. I had to take that to the lathe and put a chamfer because it was such a square shoulder on here and the hand wheel has kind of a slight radius that it couldn't clear that radius and this wouldn't screw in all the way. There would be a gap on this side, it'd be tight over here. Not great. That was the easy stuff. Then it got weird. This would not go smoothly. I would crank it up and it would get stuck and then it would get free again and then it would get stuck. And I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out why that was. So I started up here. I took off the handle, took it to the surface grinder. I found about 15 thousandths that it was not true to each side. One side is machined, one side is left cast. Why? Yeah, I don't know. I ground that flat. That's the first 15 thousandths. Then I looked at the gear, which was machined on both sides. Thought it would be fine, but I checked it anyway. That was off by about 20 thou. Took that to the surface grinder. Now these guys are running good and true. Put it back on, try again, and I have the same thing. Nice and smooth, and then stuck, and then really tight, and then nice and smooth, and then really tight. Like, what is going on? Finally, I just took the shaft out of here. I took it over to the lathe. You can see where there's a center here and the other side is tapped. Put it between centers and measured it. Got this side dialed in, this side dialed in, and I found 22 thousandths was off in the middle. That was bananaed 11 thou one way and in 11 the other. How? I have no idea. It didn't bend. I think it was just machined sloppily. I decided, you know what, I'll leave this alone. So I cut from there all the way through, took it off till it was mostly flat. It's off by about 3 thousandths here. I didn't take it all the way down because I didn't want to make it too wobbly. And now that it's in there, it's nice and smooth. That allowed me to tighten this down a little bit more. And now, if you look at the play, there's just a little bit of play in here, which I think is just fine. Doesn't affect anything. Everything moves freely. And you can actually see it's still a little bananaed here. This will rise up a little bit, up and down. All right, I think that about does it. That's everything I had to fix. I really think they should just call this the 3-ton Arbor press kit, send it to you in pieces, and be like, hey, you have some light machining to do on stuff to fine tune it because we're not going to do any of that. You can do it. I would think I would have preferred if they sent me this thing in pieces. But anyway, that's the Vevor 3-ton Arbor press. That's what I had to go through and get it up to my standards. Now, your standards might be higher than mine. They might be lower than mine. Out of the box, it worked. It'll do what an Arbor press will do. It's just going to be a little loosey-goosey with everything. Right now, it's all adjusted in. Again, it's yeah, these are adjusted. Everything moves freely. Overall, I think with a little bit of love, it's a fine arbor press. I think it's great. I'm very happy with it right now. But if you buy one, keep in mind it might turn into a shop project before it turns into a shop tool. That's all for tonight, guys. Thanks for watching, and till next time.